Today we have a very, very special guest speaker who has come all the way from Texas to speak to us. And he's an amazing guy who he's conquered cancer 3 times. He's undergone a bone marrow transplant. He had to learn to walk again. He had to be taught how to walk again. To running 7 marathons on 7 different continents, including Antarctica. Did you run with the penguins or something down there?
There were penguins.
Amazing, amazing guy. He has a story of healing and inspiration that is absolutely going to inspire you to live your brightest future. Everyone give a warm welcome to Matt Jones.
Wow. And can we give Reverend Tony just a big round of applause? What a wonderful soul, and what a great blessing. This is not a great blessing or what? Wow. The love just shines through. So wow, honor, wow. And give each other a big round of applause for being here on this day. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Would you like to experience a miracle? Yes. Right here, right now. Yes. Okay, let's prepare for this. If you would, please take your hands, rub them together fast as you can, rub them together, then hold them apart about 6 inches, move them back and forth. Moving back and forth. How many feel that energy? Woo, awesome stuff. Okay, ready? Here we go. We're going to experience a miracle. If you would, please, take a big, deep breath in and breathe out. The greatest miracle in life. You realize every day how many miracles you experience. That every day more things go right than go wrong. Now, I'm originally from Kansas. Now, Kansas is not the end of the world, but you can see the end of the world from Kansas. And one thing about Kansas, it is flat. So whenever I see an ocean or the mountains, I'm just like amazed by it. But funny thing, a couple of years I lived in Costa Mesa, California, 15 minutes from the ocean. And sometimes I would go months without even seeing the ocean because it became commonplace. And I think perhaps sometimes that you're such a miracle manifestation machine that sometimes you forget how powerful you are. Sometimes you forget the miracles that happen every single day. And this morning, our short time together, more than anything, my intention is just to remind you of how powerful, how awesome you are. And realizing that you're already living your brightest future, but perhaps just to remind you just that you are. And today, as I share a part of my story, realize this. As I speak and share my healing testimony, it's also your story. I remind the words of Ernest Holmes. Of course, he was a contemporary to the Fillmores and the founder of religious science. But he said something so powerful. He said this: if someone else has done it, you can do it. And the fact I stand here today, at one point doctors didn't think I was going to live, is proof of what's possible for you. Because the Christ within me is the Christ within you. And I know this, that you and I, we have a divine appointment today. 2002, let's see, what's now, 2017? So how many years is that, Tony? 15, okay, 15. 15 years ago, I laid in a hospital bed, Topeka, Kansas. Just heard 3 words no one wants to hear. But as I laid there, I made this intention that someday, somehow, somewhere, some good would come from my experience. Today is the fulfillment of that intention. Because I know especially somebody in this room needs to hear something that I had to say. Because here's what I discovered. Out of your mess comes your message. Out of your test comes your testimony. So I want to share with you just three I call them causes of creating your brightest future. 3 reminders. And the first one is visualize your victory. Visualize your victory. Now, to keep the energy high, because also we know everything's about energy, and also one of the ways that we really get stuff in the conscious level is kinesthetically by moving our body. So when I say visualize if everybody would go, victory, my whole highlight coming to Cape Cod. Sound great or sound great? All right, here we go. Visualize your victory. Doesn't that feel great? Tomorrow morning you wake up, victory. You go to work tomorrow morning, walk through the front door, victory. People will be like, what's wrong with you? But let me ask you this, how many are going victory when Tom Brady scored a touchdown? I'm just saying now, right? You know, one of the things, I believe in laughter. I love to laugh. And several years ago, I was stuck in the longest TSA security line at the airport. I was so excited. I finally went through the line and made it through. I went, victory! Big mistake. They put me in a special room, full body pat down. Now I just do it in my head. Timeless truth that says this, where there's no vision, the people perish. Now let me ask you, what victory do you want to achieve in 2017? You see, one of the most greatest, profound lessons I learned from my experience, that while you can't always choose your circumstances, you can always choose how you perceive them. And let me explain. September 11th, 2002, I had my life-changing moment. I was a senior in college, and at the time I was into bodybuilding. And my hero was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. And my dream was to move to California, get pumped up. But as I began that fall semester, something wasn't right. Couldn't finish my workouts, had a sore throat that wouldn't go away, and I was sleeping up to 16 hours a day. During one 24-hour period, I slept 23 hours. So I figured it might be a good idea to go see a doctor. Thought I had mono. Went to the doctor, got tested, the results came back negative. He said, Matt, I've got to run few more tests, you're free to go home. Didn't think any more of it till a little bit after 1 o'clock. 9/11/2002, my phone rang. Hello? Matt? Yes? Matt, this is Dr. McNamara. Now, when the doctor calls you at home, not a good sign. He said, Matt, I've got some good news and some bad. You're sicker than we thought. You have cancer. And I thought to myself, well, I sure hope the good news isn't that he switched to Geico and saved a bunch of money. And here's the good news. And the message I have today when it comes to creating your brightest future, there's always good news. You see, once again, you can't perhaps always choose your circumstances, but you can always choose how you perceive it. And one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, Paul says this, so we do not fix our eyes on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. And my doctor said this, he said, Matt, here's the good news. You can get through this. It's possible. But the lesson really didn't sink in until I walked through the hospital, St. Francis, Topeka, Kansas, and I met a very special person, Nurse Ginger. I'll never forget her. She had these black, stylish hipster glasses on, brown curly hair down to her shoulders, late 40s, and she said something to me that changed my life forever. She walked up with this big smile, she held out her hand, she said, Hi, Matt, my name is Nurse Ginger. I'm the head nurse here, and we're going to take really good care of you. And she said something that at the time I couldn't grasp, I couldn't put my mind around. And she said, Matt, my sister also had cancer, and she beat it. And she says one of the greatest blessings of her life. At 23 years young, I thought to myself, your sister is cray-cray. This is the worst possible thing. But I stand here today and echo those words. One of the greatest blessings of my life was being diagnosed with cancer. But here's the thing, folks. That cancer was just an illusion. How many are familiar with quantum physics? As much as we can be, right? But basically, in a sense, quantum physics is all about energy. Basically, this right here, is it solid? Not really. It's an illusion. It's a hologram. That's what Paul was talking about. We don't fix our eyes on what is seen, but what is unseen. But let me ask you this. How can you know light without dark? How can you know the warmth without cold? And perhaps these experiences we go through are just allows us to see how powerful you are. Creating your brightest future. The first cause. Visualize your victory. And secondly, and so important, if you would please repeat after me, take action. Take action. Now once again, we got to move our body. So when I say take action, if everybody go A for action, that would be awesome. All right, here we go. You ready? Take. See, here's what I realized. Laying in the hospital bed, it wasn't enough just to visualize my victory. It's not enough just to meditate or have an intention. I love what the Quakers say. They say this, pray and move your feet. Think about it. If you didn't take action, you wouldn't be here this morning. And that's what James said, the brother of Jesus. Don't just be a hearer of the word, but be a doer. So we're going to put this into practice, okay? Put this into practice. A little illustration here. So here's the copy of my brand new book. It retails for $24.95. Who would like to have this book for free? Can I see your hands? Okay. So we got a victory we're visualizing. So I want you to visualize getting this for free, okay? Now, how can you take action to get this book for free? Victory! How can you take action? Oh, there we go. All right. Give this gentleman a round of applause. 15 years ago, laid there in my hospital bed with the intention one day, somehow, somewhere, for someone, some good would come. But if I didn't take action to get on the airplane, I wouldn't be here this morning. And that's what the great thing, that's the fun, is every day taking action. And it happens one step at a time. Okay, one last thing. We're going to finish this up. Third and final cause in creating your brightest future. If you would, please take your index finger, point to your head, and say, elevate your consciousness. Elevate your consciousness. Paul said this to the church in Rome. He said, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because the feelings you feel, the thoughts you think, and the words you speak determine the life you live. Let me illustrate this. So I was diagnosed with leukemia. And for leukemia, they have this fun little procedure called a bone marrow biopsy. It is so painful. It makes getting a root canal seem like you're going to Disneyland. I remember the first time I had this done, I'm in the hospital room waiting for the doctor. I hear the knock. The doctor comes in. I look at his name badge, and I kid you not, his name was Dr. Grinning Barrett. And sure enough, he says, hi, I'm Dr. Grinning Barrett. I grin while you bear it. These are words you don't want to hear from your doctor. And many times I'm going through this painful procedure, and my mom was there with me. And my mom is an absolute saint. And I echo the words of Abraham Lincoln, who said, everything I am, everything I hope to be, I owe to my dear angel mother. And I was lying in that bed, and I was going through that procedure, and I reached out for her hand. And I grabbed a hold of my mom's hand, the love and the comfort a son can only get from his mom. And I squeezed her hand so hard, and later she said, Matt, I thought you were going to squeeze my hand off. But she said, Matt, as you're squeezing my hand, I said to myself, you were squeezing that cancer out of your body. And I said, squeeze, Matt, squeeze. You see, when it comes to elevating your you got to squeeze out the negativity. And I'm going to give you two simple, powerful ways to do that. I do every single day. And the first one is the books you read. Books you read. Blows my mind away. Did you realize the average American reads less than one nonfiction book a year? At the same time, they watch over 30 hours of TV a week. I mean, think about 30 hours. That's like a part-time job. And they're not getting paid for it. Now, to illustrate, see, this is why it's so important. So let me ask you this question. I want you to picture real quickly your home. I want you to imagine going into your kitchen and you go to your refrigerator. Now here's the question. What can you get out of your refrigerator? You stole my line, but yeah, exactly. You can only get out what you put in. The same is true for your mind. So the question becomes, on a daily basis, what do you put in your mind? So the books we read. Also, one last thing. We know this, but it's good to remind, I think. Affirmations, positive self-talk. And I want to share with you my all-time go-to favorite. It's this. I'm too blessed to be stressed. You want to do an experiment to change your life. When people ask you, do it for 1 week. People ask you how you're doing. Tell them this. I'm too blessed to be stressed. It will blow their mind. I was speaking a couple weeks ago in Arizona, Unity Church. I shared it in the morning service. Then we had a seminar later that day. And the lady said, one of my friends called me. She shared the seminar. One of my friends called me and she asked me how I was doing. And I told her, I'm too blessed to be stressed. And the lady said, what's wrong with you? On Mother's Day 2004, I walked out of the hospital, successful bone marrow transplant, and I've been in remission ever since. All right, here we go. We're going to bring this home now. One last story, then our big grand finale. One last story, big grand finale. So what happened was, even though I had a successful bone marrow transplant, because of the leukemia had spread the fluid in the brain, doctors wanted to do some follow-up chemotherapy, and I believe God's in everything. And so what that meant was, for 1 year, once a month, they did a spinal tap, chemo going up into my brain. Had one more left to do, and so I asked my doctor, Doc, do I really need this last treatment? What's the medical literature say? And he paused. Matt, there is no medical literature. There's never been someone who had what you had be here a year later. I said, well, Doc, keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes I wonder, why me? Why was I so blessed to wake up this morning? So blessed to be able to take a breath in and a breath out. And the reason why I'm so blessed is the reason why you're so blessed. And I want to close and leave you with this. The ultimate cause in creating your brightest future. And we sang it earlier from those wise words of the great philosophers, the Beatles. All you need is love. All you need is love. And that's how you live and create magic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to finish up my portion of this because I believe in celebrating life. So, because I know you all celebrate the Patriots. Am I right or am I right? Now we're going to celebrate your life because every day you wake up is the Super Bowl of your life. And I think that's worth celebrating. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross the finish line together. And when we cross that finish line all together, go victory, 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 make lots of noise, and give at least 2 people a big high five or a hug. Sound great or sound great? All right, if you're able, if you're willing, if you'd like to, please stand up, get your running shoes on. We've gone 26.1 miles. Here we go. We crossed the finish line all together. Victory, victory, victory. Lots of noise. 2 big high fives and hugs. And when you're ready, please be seated. Let's give a big round of applause for Reverend Tony. All right. Woo! Victory! All right.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.